Hello, fools, and welcome to April on the channel, where we're going to talk about comedies for this whole entire month. When I say talk about, I mean review. So it's time, mates, to strap yourselves in, because we're going to carry on, Sergeant. Carry on, Sergeant, mates. It's the first film in the Carry On series. It was released in 1958 here in Great Britain, and it shows you all the Carry On team's antics in a military setting, starring all the greats as they started out, that there being Kenneth Williams and all t'other major Carry On players. As a young man is drafted into military service on his wedding day, he ain't happy about it, obviously, because he's just got married and he wants to go on his honeymoon with his wife. And he tries everything he can to get a discharge. Only it doesn't work. And hilarious antics ensue. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna go over here quickly. And bring over my standalone copy of the film we're reviewing here. Pardon me. Fall in love for the first ever film in the highly acclaimed Carry On comedy series, now a British institution. Kenneth Williams, Kenneth Connor, and Charles Hawtrey are prankish misfits who become the hilarious bane of an army officer's existence. When he makes a bet, he will turn them into Star Award soldiers or bust. Now, Kenneth Connor, he actually plays the young man that gets drafted into service at the beginning of the film. And the army officer who ends up with these misfits in his platoon is played by... Who's this guy right here? It's only the first bloody Doctor himself, mates. William bloody Hartnell. And I can tell you right now, the other players are Bob Monkhouse, Shirley Eaton, Eric Barker, Dora Bryan, Bill Owen, Eddie Jacques, and Gerald Campion. And it's definitely worth a watch if you're a fan of old classic British comedies. Now, in case you can't tell what accent I'm using here, it should be an obvious one. For I myself, mates, am a natural born Australian. Gotcha! April Fools. I'm not really Australian, I'm a Brit, and that was probably the worst fake Aussie accent ever. Okay. But if I managed to fool some of you, happy April Fool's Day. And I pity the fool who doesn't try a Carry On film. Now, it might not be your thing, but you never know unless you try. And I give this 10 military helmets out of 10. So stay tuned for our next review. I'm not going to reveal what that is. You'll have to wait and see at that point what it's going to be. But welcome one and all to Comedy Month. And if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a bloody like. A nice bloody comment below. Bloody share the video with your bloody friends. And bloody subscribe to this channel, mates. You don't know what you're missing, coppers. And I'll see you next time. Until then, have a bloody some magical time. Well, it's time for another comedy review. But which one have I got up my sleeves for you this time? Well, check this one out. Ooh, Scary Movie, eh? Well, Scary Movie is a parody of horror films released in 1999. And just wait till you hear the synopsis. It involves sketches involving a group of 6 friends trying to escape the clutches of a malicious serial killer. Now, one in a white mask and a black robe costume. So, if the plot sounds vaguely similar to a horror film from 1996, well, it's because there is the plot of the main horror film subject to the spoofing and the parodying. It's mainly a parody of Scream, with other sketches parodying the likes of I Know What You Did Last Summer, and The Matrix. No, that is not a horror film. It's a sci-fi, but it's got a parody of it in there anyway, with the bullet time effect. It's actually hard to describe this. Because the two main parodies are those of Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. And if you like those two series of films, then you'll love this. It is really funny and it's one of the best comedies of the 90s. And yes, there are 4 sequels which we may or may not get to later down the line this month. So, just in case we don't, those are Scary Movie 2, Scary Movie 3, Scary Movie 4, and Scary Movie 5. Obviously. Now, guys, if you've seen the film that is the subject of this review, let me know in the comments below what you thought. Because, because I shan't be revealing now. I'm gonna be reviewing a classic BBC sitcom in the next episode. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. So the reveal will come in the next episode. You'll have to wait and see. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, a nice comment below, share the video with your friends, and above all, subscribe to this channel for more great content to come, and more existing great content as well. And until next time, thanks for watching and have a magical time. Oh, excuse me. It's the 3rd day of Comedy Month here on the channel, and I'm very sorry for what I'm about to review. Well, this one might take a lot of you back in time. Sorry. The classic 1980s sitcom starring Ronnie Corbett as Timothy Lumsden, a 40-something-year-old librarian who still lives with his parents and constantly has to apologize for things. Yes, that's right. This series ran for 7 series between 1981 and 1988, and a few Christmas specials along the way. There were 42 main episodes of the series, with each series being 6 episodes long. And as I said from its time frame, there were 7 series. And the situations Timothy finds himself in each episode are nothing short of hilarious. And of course, with all these classic live-action sitcoms from the BBC, or wherever, this is from the BBC, they come with a catchphrase attached, and this show's catchphrase is "language, Timothy," and this would happen every time Timothy says something normally that his dad doesn't like to hear. Even though they're not swear words. Okay. And then, of course, his mum, who treats him like a little boy despite being a grown man. And in the series, we also meet his best friend Frank, his sister Muriel, and her husband Kevin. Yeah, there's well as some of Timothy's other flings, such as a girl called Annette, and the woman he almost marries in Series 6. Almost. Oh boy. We even meet his cousin Brinsley in one of these episodes. So, if you are into these old school classic sitcoms and you like the two Ronnies, then you should like this. Because this is one of the two Ronnies at his finest. Anyway, so that's what I think of Sorry. If you've seen it, can you let me know what you guys think in the comments below? And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until the next video, thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. What do you get when you take Nicholas Lyndhurst and cast him in a sitcom about time travel, or a man who leads a double life in two different time periods due to... Yeah, okay, let's just get on with it. Good Night, Sweetheart is a British TV sitcom from the BBC that ran for 6 series between 1993 and 1999. It tells the story of Gary Sparrow, a TV repairman who, after walking down Duckett's Passage, an alleyway, discovers he stepped back in time to 1939, the start of World War II, where a double life for him begins to unfold. While there, he meets Phoebe Bamford, a barmaid who runs a bar alongside her father, her very strict father. Reg, who is a policeman, and, well, I guess you know what's going to happen now. Throughout the series also, in his modern day life in 1993, he has a wife called Yvonne. Oh, it's only Yvonne. Okay. Um, and a best friend, his name is Ron, by the way. Now, there are 6 series that run between 93 and 99, as I said. Nicholas Lyndhurst plays our main character, Gary Sparrow. You plonker! And the series, because of its double timelines, takes place both in the present day, but largely in the World War II timeframe of 1939 to 1945. And during this double life, we see Gary cheating on Yvonne by marrying Phoebe and actually having a family with Phoebe in the past. And yes, this does actually come back to bite him later on, because an elderly version of his son, Michael, turns up at his shop in the present where he sells World War II memorabilia. Wow. Yeah, it's all this wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff. No, it's nothing to do with Doctor Who, don't worry. It's just, you know, this. And we also meet Gary's dad, also in the series, who had the same problem Gary did. So it's a genetic thing. And he describes his experiences popping between the 1960s and the 1860s, about 100 years before, or about 30 or 100 years before. And we also meet a man from the year 2168 in an episode. So there are time portals to and from past and future dates. This place is like a cosmic Clapham Junction. And over the course of the 6th series, there were over 50 episodes. And each series will run for a different length. There'll be 6 episodes here and 12 episodes there. It's worth a watch if you're a fan of Nicholas Lyndhurst comedies, because he's still the same funny actor he is in Only Fools and Horses. Just, you know, 12 years later. Okay. And no, there is no David Jason in this, so don't go assuming there is. Anyway, it's a great. I've already said that. Now, if you've seen Goodnight Sweetheart, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. And I will see you for the next review. I'm not going to reveal what it's going to be. You'll have to wait and see. Until then, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And have us a magical time. Oh, okay, the Carry On team are at it again, but this time, what do the NHS think? Oh yes, Carry On Doctor, the second film of the Carry On franchise, released in 1959. And this time, the shenanigans the Carry On team get into take place within the confines of a hospital, where the team play doctors and patients, and the same shenanigans ensue as before. This time, where they're in a hospital, we get to see them actually trying to perform operations or an operation and make people better. And needless to say, they're just as wacky at that as they were at being soldiers in the army. All the regulars return. So we have the two Kenneths, Kenneth Williams and Kenneth Howard. And we also have Sid James back. And this is just a laugh riot all the way through. It's hard to describe the plots of these without cracking a smile. It's just shenanigans in a hospital. Now you know why I said at the beginning, I wonder what the NHS thinks. Because this is the NHS establishment, or one of them. And if you're a Carry On fan, and you haven't seen this film in a long time, I do recommend you go and watch it again. Well, I watched it for the first time about a few months ago now, and oh yes, I super enjoyed it. So if you're Carry On fans, what are your opinions of Carry On Doctor? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, share and subscribe. And until the next video, thanks for watching and have a magical time. Oh, okay. It's now time to head down to that little mountain town in Colorado. Yeah, that's right. Let's see how our friends are doing, shall we? So let's head on down to South Park and have ourselves a time. South Park. This is an animated sitcom created by Matt Stone and Trey Parker that first aired on Comedy Central on August the 13th, 1997. And it tells the story of the misadventures of four young boys, Stan, Kyle, Eric, and Kenny. Eric, who is known just as Cartman to his classmates. And every episode deals with a different misadventure the boys end up on and the trouble it leads them into. And helping them along the way, we see such characters as Jerome McElroy, who is chef, and Herbert Garrison, their teacher, in the third, then fourth grade, but not straight away. Their original fourth grade teacher, Diane Choksondik, just the name. And then the fourth grade teacher later in the series, Mrs. Nelson. Also, we have other classmates joining them on these misadventures in certain episodes. We have Tweak Tweak, Leopold Butters Stotch, whose parents are constantly grounding him because the poor lad keeps getting into trouble for no real reason at all, except for some reasons when he actually does deserve it. Craig Tucker, Tolkien Black, yes, Tolkien, or Tolkien Black, Bebe Stevens, Wendy Testerberger, yeah, so you get the picture. We even some of the best episodes I can handpick. I would pick a favourite from each season and special, but we'd be here for too long if I did that. So I'll just actually name a few of my favourite episodes. The Imagination Land trilogy, which are 3 episodes that come in towards the end of season 11. 200/201. Now, this may be a controversial opinion, but this is the episode in which we finally learn the truth of who Cartman's father is. Yes, one we thought we had solved 12 years prior is solved here. It ends up being Scott Tenorman's father, Jack Tenorman. Now, speaking of Scott Tenorman, he's another character we meet in the series, and one of my favourite episodes is his introduction, Scott Tenorman Must Die, in which he sells Cartman his pubic hair, oh dear, for $10, and Cartman then tries everything he can to get the money back. Unable to, he then exacts revenge on him in a very evil way. Okay. Now, this is supposed to be just an overview of the series. So let's get back to that, shall we? And anytime they need to attack a serious subject matter, well, I say they try that in Breast Cancer Show Ever, but they just take too much. They just take too much time making so much fun of the disease. The most serious they ever did take something was COVID. And you want to see how seriously they took that? Well, watch the first 2 specials, the pandemic and vaccination specials. Because the last 2 that followed were the first 2 made-for-TV movies, the post-COVID movies. Where we actually get to see the boys in the future having to deal with COVID once again. Dear oh dear. But I say, the changes which the show predicted, well, I'll say this. My future self and me actually predicts what Stan will become when he grows up. And it predicts he'll become a drunken alcoholic. Now, we flash forward. They said he'll be like this by the time he's 32. Now, jump forward to post-COVID, and we see him at the age of 49. And he's a drunken alcoholic. So, I'm kind of a loner. Okay. But it is actually how much we see Cartman change over this time that surprises us. He's a kid who went around making fun of everyone's religions and stuff, and he kept controversially mocking Kyle for being Jewish. And here we see he's become a rabbi. Cartman, Jewish. And actually has found faith. And because of this, has become a better person. The only one who doesn't think this change is genuine is Kyle. But here, he's found faith, he's got a family, he has become a better person because of that. And yes, I actually do believe this change to be genuine. So, whether or not you do because of the type of character Cartman is, that's up to you. Anyway, so much for the brief overview, huh? Oh dear. Well, we'll stop talking about the show now, and I'll actually give you my opinion. It's one of my favourite shows of all time. Has been since I was 10. No, it's not for 10-year-olds. I just started watching it when I was that age. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. The next one's coming tomorrow. Until then, cheers, and have us a magical time. Granville, come over here, for goodness sake. 4 for goodness sake. Well, that's 3 4, so that'll be 12, goodness sake. Well, this one might set some of you back a long way. Open all hours. The classic BBC TV sitcom that would have broadcast on BBC One between 1974, I think, and 1985. 4 series, 26 episodes, all starring Ronnie Barker as Arkwright and David Jason as his nephew Granville. And basically, the sitcom tells the story of the day-to-day lives of Arkwright and Granville as they run their corner shop, which is, as the title suggests, open all hours. And the first thing you need to know about Arkwright is he has a speech impediment which causes him to stutter on certain words. And normally these words begin with the letter F. And they cause him to say the same letter or the same word a few times. Now, I said I think it ran between 1974 and 1985. I might be a bit off with the precise starting date. So, And of course, the phrase okay, now 1976. Okay, so 1976 to 1985. And just to give you the reference here, the pilot was in 1973. And of course, that's what gave way to the show. So Series 1 aired in 1976. The 6 episodes which comprise it are full of mysterious promise, a mattress on wheels, a nice cozy little disease. Oh. And Beware of the Dog, Well Catered Funeral, and Apples and Self-Service. And each episode runs within the half-hour time frame, between 28 and 29 minutes per episode. Now, it would be 5 years after Series 1 before we got Series 2 on your screens in 1981. We got 7 more episodes out of that. And the episodes in Series 2 are Laundry Blues, The Reluctant Traveller, Fig Biscuits and Inspirational Toilet Rolls, The New Suit, Arkwright's Mobile Store, Shedding at the Wedding, and St. Albert's Day. And all of these episodes are exactly 30 minutes long. Okay. Series 3 in 1982 features the episodes An Errand Boy by the Ear, The Ginger Men, Duel for Solo Bicycle, How to Ignite Your Errand Boy, A Man from Down Under, and The Cool Cocoa Tin Lid. All 6 episodes in this season are 30 minutes long. They did a Christmas special in 1982 also, Open All Seasons, which was only 10 minutes long. Right. So, hardly worth thinking about. Okay, Series 4 then came 3 years after that, or maybe 2.5 years after that, in 1985. There are 6 episodes. So it's actually 25 episodes, plus a 10-minute short special. The 6 episodes that make up Series 4 are Soulmate Wanted, Horse Trading, The Housekeeper Caper, The Errand Boy Executive, Happy Birthday Arkwright, and The Mystical Boudoir of Nurse Gladys Emanuel. And they're all 30 minutes long. So, that's your basic overview of Open All Hours. My thoughts on the series, yes, because I have seen it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. My thoughts on the series. It's a good series, and if you want to see what Ronnie Barker was like acting alongside David Jason, then you plonkers only have this show to turn to. So that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next one, where you'll find out what I'm going to review next then. So until then, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a magical time. Da 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 dum, da 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 dum, da 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 dum, da 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 dum, da 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 dum. I think you know what's coming. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky, they're all together rookie, the Addams Family. That's right. The Addams Family, a live-action American sitcom from 1964 to 1966, based off the comic book series of the same name by Chuck Jones. Not Chuck Jones, James, you idiot! Chuck Adams, sorry, by Chuck Adams. Oh, God. Chuck Jones. I... By Chuck Adams. He actually based them off his own family. It is a sitcom about the day-to-day family lives of the titular Addams family, consisting of Gomez, Morticia, their son Pugsley, their daughter Wednesday, the grandmother of the family, that's Grandma Addams, Uncle Fester, or is it Grandma Flump? I don't know. Uncle Fester, and of course their butler Lurch, who is like a giant, like a Frankenstein monster sort of thing. And of course the Thing. You know, the hand that has its own life, has a life of its own. And every episode deals with a different kind of situation the family finds themselves in. Like, take for example the very first episode, when a welfare officer visits to inquire why Pugsley and Wednesday have never gone to school. So they have to go to school. And yeah, the reason why is because Morticia and Gomez don't think it's worth educating their kids, or because they want to protect them from being bullied, or... And this might be where the idea of soccer moms came from, because they don't like the fact that children's fairy tales are violent and dark. Like, hello? What does this say in the lyrics to their theme song? They're creepy and they're kooky. Yes, there you go. they have no problem with this sort of thing in real life, but from a fairy tale, that's where they draw the line? Come on, guys. Anyway, other such situations they find themselves in. The grandmother being arrested and having to go to court to get her off the hook. Arrested, that is, for fortune telling. That's a big no-no for a family of kooks, right? Yeah. No fortune telling. Naughty grandmother. um, and then, of course, there's the episode where they splurge on the horse races and think they're winning millions of dollars when the person that they've entrusted with that responsibility actually didn't place any of their bets. And they're doing this to finance a trip into space. Okay. Well, they don't just send anybody into space. You have to be a trained astronaut. So... And this was 5 years before the space race. So... yeah, a bit before the time, if you ask me. Now, the actual comics the series is based on is from the 1930s. And when I say he based the characters on his own family, he just named them after his family. I think he didn't directly base any of their traits on his family. This is Chuck Adams we're talking about. And admittedly, someone who has read the comics would be able to give a far more accurate description than I could. So, I'm just going by what I can tell you. So, after all that, what did I think? Yeah, it's one of the funniest pieces of American television. And if you're fans of that sort of thing, you should definitely give it a watch. I will recommend it right now. So... and if you've seen this show, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you again tomorrow for the next review. You won't find out what it is until then, I'm afraid, because I'm not going to give any hints. And thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. A recipe for success, huh? This is what you get when you take John Hughes scripts and then give the directing job to Chris Columbus and put Macaulay Culkin in the lead role. Yeah, I think you know where I'm going with this. Home Alone, released in 1990, directed by Chris Columbus and starring Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McAllister, an 8-year-old boy who is left at home alone over the Christmas holidays while his family are off to France. Well, he's accidentally left at home alone, and while he's at home alone, he has to defend his home from a pair of bandits who are trying to burgle the McAllister household, Harry and Marv. And the traps he sets to catch them are nothing short of creative. And I think this film actually plays into a lot of young kids' fantasies of being left at home alone. Whether that would happen to them at the age it happens to Kevin here, I hope not, because that is child endangerment if you did that in real life. Parents, do not leave your young kids at home unsupervised. But needless to say, Kevin manages to take on these burglars and actually take them down. And of course, now, at the very beginning of the film, we do actually see Kevin being, to put it bluntly, a bit of a jerk. Yeah. I said it. And it is actually... Okay, now... You might be wondering why I'm reviewing this as part of Comedy Month instead of waiting till Festive Month in December. Simple to that, the answer is, it is first and foremost a family comedy film that just happens to be set at Christmas and have some Christmas themes to it. But I know it is normally one of the first films you would think about as a Christmas film. And, well, it is set at Christmas, and it is about a young boy who has to defend his home from burglars at that time. But ask yourself this question. Is there any Christmas music in the film? And also, are there any of the things we would normally associate with Christmas in the film? Well, yes, there is snow in the film, we'll give it that. And it is about the McAllisters
See if you've got any paper.
The McAllisters at Christmas, but it's really about, again, Culkin's character defending his home against burglars at Christmas. So now, guys, it's still, in my opinion, one of the best films ever made. And I'm probably going to know what your opinions of Home Alone is, or are, if you've seen the film. But still let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, share and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next one of these. And until then, thanks for watching and have us a magical time. Well, we knew the day would come for this review eventually. All I can say to it is, Great Scott! Back to the Future is a time travel teen comedy released in 1985, directed by Robert Zemeckis and written by Bob Gale and produced by Steven Spielberg. It stars Michael J. Fox as Marty McFly and Christopher Lloyd as Doc Emmett Brown, alongside Thomas F. Wilson as Biff Tannen, Elizabeth Shue as Jennifer Parker, and Leah Thompson as Lorraine McFly, and Crispin Glover as George McFly. Spoilers if you don't know the story, I'm sure a lot of you do by now. But Marty McFly is a high school student who is best friends with Doc Emmett Brown, who has never invented anything working except a time machine which he has conveniently built into a DeLorean. And in the early hours of one October morning, Marty uses the DeLorean to outrun a group of Libyan nationalists and is catapulted via the DeLorean back in time to the 5th of November 1955, around 30 years before the future scenes take place. And here, he ends up interrupting his parents' first meeting and thus preventing his own birth, unless he can get them together. So the whole film is basically him and a younger version of Doc Brown trying to fix Marty's major muck-up. And we see all the hilarious antics these guys get up to. Also, during this time, we meet a younger version of Biff Tannen, played by Thomas F. Wilson in the future. He's the school bully in 1955. What are you looking at, butthead? Anyway, I suppose you'll want to know, does Marty end up making it back to 1985? Well, I can't say whether or not he does, in case there are some of you out there who haven't seen the film. Because there will be some out there who haven't seen it. So go and see the film for yourself if you want to find out how it ends. And it's a brilliant film. It's one of my favourites, actually. And that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks, guys. And until next time, have a magical time. Thanks for watching. Oh, okay, so we go back to 1983. Or is it 1486 for this next review? I think you'll know why I said that last thing. Check this out. The Blackadder is the first series of the Blackadder series of Blackadder, released on TV in 1983, starring Rowan Atkinson as Edmund Blackadder. Set in 1486 to 1498, across the 6 episodes, you see the comedic misadventures of Edmund Blackadder and his crew. It is set during the reign of Richard III. And we learn that Blackadder is a prince. There are 6 episodes in the series that detail the whole story. I would go over every episode, but this is supposed to be a brief overview, so I can't do that here, I'm afraid. Although I do think it is a good series and a good way to start the Blackadder saga. And it did spawn 3 more series and some specials. Now, that is it for this review. Sorry I didn't give enough information, but I did say these were meant to be brief overviews. I'll be doing the same for the other 3 series down the line. And the reason why I'm doing them as separate series is because each one is a separate series, set in a different time period. So, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. And until the next video, thanks for watching and have us a magical time. Okay, now it's time for another spoof movie to be reviewed, but this time they tried to go epic. Epic Movie is a comedy spoof movie released in 2007, made by the unpopular comedic team of Friedberg and Salsa, whose movies are leave less to be desired. But it actually tries, very unsuccessfully I might add, to take the mickey out of such films as The Chronicles of Narnia mainly, Harry Potter, X-Men, also mainly, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, also mainly, among other films such as Snakes on a Plane. Yes, I said it. So, it deals with the story of four orphans who find golden tickets and go to the Willy chocolate factory. And, well, this is where the adventure begins. They find that the Pavorsky siblings, as we come to find out they are, find their way into Ghanania, where they meet the faun, who manages to keep his actual name from the real Narnia books. I don't know how they got away with that. It's not even in the public domain. Don't ask me. And the villain is the White Bitch. Now, really, as a comedy spoof film made by the team that must not be named, is a recipe for movie Death Eaters. They are definitely too old to still be doing this shit. Okay. So what do I actually think of this film? Well, I find it to be quote-worthy, so that's something. Yes, for me it's a guilty pleasure. I like it even though I know I shouldn't, but yeah, who is gonna tell me that, really? If you enjoyed this video, guys, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Until then, thanks for watching and have a some magical time. Alright, you smegheads, are you ready for my smegging review of Red Dwarf? I hope so. Well, let's get the smeg rolling. Hi, smegheads, and welcome to day 13 of Comedy Month, where I'm going to be talking about Red Dwarf, the classic British TV sitcom that ran originally on BBC Two between 1988 and 1999 for 8 series. Yes, I'm only focusing on the first 8 series here. Created by Doug Grant and... well, okay, I think I got that wrong, but hosted, created by Grant and Naylor, and set aboard the mining ship Red Dwarf 3 million years into the future, mainly. Starring Craig Charles as Dave Lister, third technician and local slob. Chris Barry as Arnold J. Rimmer, the hologram of Lister's dead bunkmate. Danny John Jules as the cat, a life form that evolved from Lister's pet cat Frankenstein. And, well, first Dave Ross, and then Robert Llewellyn as Kryten, a mechanoid that they save in Series 2. And, wow. Norman Lovett and Hattie Hayridge as the ship's computer Holly. And it's to deal with the misadventures and the sometimes adventures of the gang, of the crew of the Red Dwarf, and then Starbug as well when it's introduced in Series 3. As they go through space, and as I said, it's set 3 million years into the future. And across the original 8 series, there were 56 episodes, if I remember correctly. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments below. But this is the way it all went down. Series 1 to 6 were 6 episodes each, so that gave you the first 36 episodes. And Series 7 and 8 were both 8 episodes each. So actually, scratch the 56 episode comment. I've now realised it's not actually that number. 36 plus 16 is 54. So yeah, there's 54 episodes across the original 8 series. But now, if I was to also briefly now just count Back to Earth and series 10, 11 and 12, the number then goes up to 73. So, because there's also a special that ended the whole thing. So that's 74 altogether. But we're going for series 1 to 8 only, and there are some episodes that stand out amongst all of these. And here are some of my favourites. Ouroboros. Now, through some kind of paradox in this episode, we learn that Lister is in fact his own father. Awkward. Okay. And yes, before you go asking exactly how that's supposed to work, ask the creators. They're the ones that came up with it. Okay. Now, Backwards, which is actually the one I was first told about, that actually kind of also got me into the show. This is where they go through a wormhole into a universe that runs backwards. And it's just hilarious, come on. If this episode itself doesn't sell you on the show, then I don't know what will. And then, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the very first episode, the one that sets the whole thing up, the end, which is set entirely aboard the Red Dwarf, and introduces us not just to these characters. This is before Kryten was introduced, by the way. But not just to Rimmer and Lister, but the rest of the Red Dwarf mining crew, including Captain Hollister and Christine Kachansky. And yes, it was sneaking his cat on board and hiding her on the ships. I think it's like in the ship's ventilation, I think. That actually led to the rest of the crew dying, and Lister being sentenced to what was supposed to be 6 months in stasis, but then ended up being 3 million years. Yeah, so everybody's dead, Dave. Everybody is dead, Dave. Now, I think I've told you enough about the show and given you pointers on 3 of the many episodes it comprises. Go and give it a watch, as I recommend. It is a brilliant show. And I will see you for the next one of these. But you won't find out till tomorrow what it's going to be on. So, until then, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have us a magical time. Rowan Atkinson, Daleks, the Master. Oh my word. We're going into the world of comic relief. Way after the actual event. But what's this on? The Curse of Fatal Death is a comic relief. Yes, right, a comic relief comedy spoof sketch on Doctor Who from 1999, starring Rowan Atkinson as the Ninth Doctor, as he and his fiancée, that's right, I said it, his fiancée, decide to retire from traversing time and space and settle down together. But the adventure sends them to Tursurus, a planet that has never been featured in any classic episode of Doctor Who, where he goes face to face with the Master again, and a lot of craziness ensues, such as the Daleks exterminating him, and basically, because this is a parody, the regeneration thing is parodied, and the Doctor blows through the rest of his regenerations pretty quickly. And Joanna Lumley steps in as the 13th Doctor in this spoof. Yes, that's right. In a comedy spoof of Doctor Who from 1999, they had a female 13th Doctor. I wonder if this could have actually predicted anything about the show's real future. Hmm. Okay, let me think. Let me think. Oh, of course. We've had a female Doctor in the real show now. Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor. So this funny piece of Doctor Who lore, even though it's not canon, predicted that we'd have a female Doctor when it came time for the 12th to the 13th regeneration. Good going, guys. You predicted your own show. Okay. Of course, I'm just joking. It didn't predict it, really. Yes, it did. Anyway, this is for Comedy Month, so you gotta expect something like this to happen. Okay. So, who, you might be wondering, play the 10th and 11th and 12th Doctors in this spoof? Well, we got Richard E. Grant stepping in as the 10th Doctor, and Hugh Grant as the 11th, sorry, as the 12th, but I can't remember who plays the 11th in this spoof. But even though this was a comedy spoof, it was a good bit of predictive programming. The BBC in this special totally predicted they'd have a 13th Doctor in the real show. Anyway, guys. Joking aside. I'm not joking. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Okay. It's a good special. You should go and give it a watch, and you can right here on YouTube. It's available. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next installment and the next video on the channel in general, thanks for watching and have us a magical time. Okay. So, what do a bunch of teachers and students have to do with comedy? Well, carry on watching and you'll find out. That's right, Carry On Teacher, the third film of the Carry On franchise, I believe so, was also released in 1959. So the Carry On team are back. This time they're in a school setting and they are teachers trying to deal with, to put it wisely, and no, not just because they're teachers, unruly students. And then see, unruly students trying to prevent inspectors from coming to see the school to get rid of the headmaster. So in an attempt to try and get the headmaster to stay, really. And so I don't know where I got the inspection part of the information from, or did I just come out with that on my own? Sorry guys. I have only seen the film once since owning the complete collection. But I'm just coming on to give you a brief synopsis of the film, that was it, and then to just share my opinion. I thought it was an edutaining watch. Get it? Edutaining. A comedy set in the education system. Okay. And yes, for the record, British teachers did used to wear their old mortarboards in the classroom. They don't anymore. Okay. So, now that I've given my 2 cents on Carry On Teacher, for those who are Carry On fans already, what are your opinions of this film? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. There will be another episode of this tomorrow. You won't know till then what I'm going to be reviewing. So, until then, thanks for watching and have a magical time. Well. We return to the Blackadder series, this time for the second run of episodes. But which time period are they in now? Blackadder 2, the second series of Blackadder. This time, we jump ahead to the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Now, for those of you from outside the UK who might not know this part of British history, the first Elizabethan era lasted from 1558 to 1603, so it's set during that time frame. Rowan Atkinson returns, this time as another Edmund Blackadder, this one a descendant of the last one. And the comedy ensues during the first Elizabethan era. And yes, we see the antics of Blackadder and Baldrick once again. Now, Baldrick is actually played by Tony Robinson. I should have actually pointed that out in the first review of these. Only his character is being portrayed as Dom here, and this would be the first time this has happened. So we get another 6 episodes this series, all detailing the further misadventures of Blackadder as he tries to navigate his way around Elizabethan London. But it is still a very funny series. I believe that this series, actually I have the series over there, but instead of saying when I believe it ran, I should just look it up. 1985, I think this one was. I could be completely wrong. I could be completely wrong about when season 1 aired, so don't take me up on those words. So, Blackadder. 1986, actually, so yeah. 3 years after Series 1. Almost 3 years after. It's little more than 2.5 years. So now, the actual runtime, 9th of January to the 20th of February 1986. And the episodes you'll get in this series are Bells, Head, Potato, Money, Beer, and Chains. All of which are written by Mandy Fletcher, or directed by Mandy Fletcher, written by Richard Curtis and Ben Elton. So yes, Series 2 of Blackadder aired in 1986. Not 1985, like I said, but a little more than 2.5 years after Series 1. And if this has grabbed your interest, I recommend for those in the UK who already own it on DVD to rewatch it. And for those in the US, you can buy it over there as well. And if you like Rowan Atkinson's comedy, you will not be disappointed. So, that's my opinion of Series 2 of Blackadder. The next episode coming tomorrow, you won't find out till then what it is, what the review is about. But if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next video, thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. To me, to you, to me, to you, to me, to you. Hello, and welcome to day 17 of Comedy Month. Get out of it! Um, and yeah, Chuckle Vision is what I'm talking about here today. So, what is Chuckle Vision? Well, it's a sitcom created by Barry and Paul Chuckle, or Barry and Paul Elliott, whatever you want to call them, about, well, they are real life brothers, and basically it's a bunch of slapstick gags, one after another, and each episode finds them in a new job. Now, I'm only going to be covering the era of which Chucklevision actually became Chucklevision, so that's series 3 onwards. The first 2 series are more about making a TV show and the ins and outs of it. So from series 3 onwards, the show is actually in series 3 is when the show became actually what it is. And so Chucklevision was born in the 3rd series mainly. And this is where we got such characters as "No slacking" and "Get out of it." And that gave birth to those catchphrases. And every situation we see the boys in is every bit as funny, and if not sometimes even funnier than the last. Now, the show actually ran for 22 years in total, counting the first 2 series here. 21 series, and I've already said I'm mainly only covering the 19 series of which the show was itself, but I haven't seen them all, so I can only give highlights on the episodes I have seen. So, or the moments I like best from certain episodes. And there's so many of them to choose from, I can't even pick one moment. But if you like good old-fashioned children's sitcoms, there's not many of them, mind you. Barry and Paul are the lads to go to. Or were the lads to go to. It's tragically... No, this isn't Tragedy Month, this is Comedy Month, but tragically... a few years ago now, Barry passed away. Anyway, so the comedy of Chucklevision. Is what it is, and some of my favourite moments. Okay. Barry winning a a race, a la the tortoise and the hare, but only with Paul trying to cheat his way to the win. That happens in series 3, by the way. Lord Chuckle is an episode that I've always liked. It's where Paul discovers what he thinks is a birthmark on his shoulder and is promoted to the House of Lords, only for it to unfold and actually turn out that he isn't a lord, so they get kicked out. Really, It's just so much to talk about. And I don't think I can do the program justice just by talking about it in a short video. So it's a good show, and what I've seen of it, I haven't seen it all. And if you like that sort of thing, then you can't go wrong with it. Go and give it a watch. So that's it for my episode on Chucklevision. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Nice comments, preferably. And if any of you out there are from Britain and like Chucklevision, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. The name's Bond. James Bond? That's right, guys. For day 18 of Comedy Month, I'm going to be reviewing Casino Royale. But James, do I hear you say? Casino Royale's not a comedy, it's an official film in the James Bond series. What are you talking about? Ah, not that Casino Royale. For those of you who don't know, in 1967, a comedy spoof version, also called Casino Royale, hit the cinema screens. It tells the story of Casino Royale, but in a comedic light, and stars David Niven as Bond, and Peter Sellers as Jimmy Bond. So, for those of you who believe the theory that goes around that says James Bond is a code name shared by multiple different secret agents, this is the only film you can get away with actually believing that in, because, again, it's not a proper James Bond film, it's a comedy. And that theory has since been debunked by the creators of the films. So, and as you can expect from a comedy film, a lot of hilarity then ensues. It's actually hard to describe these type of films without wanting to go over the aspect that gives the genre its name. So all I can say is if you're interested in checking the film out, I recommend you do so. But don't expect it to be proper James Bond spy thriller action, because it's not. It's comedy. I need to stress that. That's why it's in this series of reviews. So, I personally myself think it's a good comedy film, but that's just me. And We'll get to the official one later down the line. Not in this series though, in another one. But if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next comedy review. But until then, thanks for watching and have a magical time. Oh, Betty! Why are we being reviewed by this man in the 21st century? Think about it, Frank. It's for a review show. That's right. For day 19 of Comedy Month, I am reviewing Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, a classic BBC British sitcom from the 1970s. Actually ran between 1973 and 1978 for 3 series totaling 22 episodes, including 3 Christmas specials. So there were 19 episodes of the main series plus those 3 specials. And now, from that little impressions intro, you'll already know that the TV series tells the story of an accident-prone and clumsy young man named Frank William Spencer. Yes. As he goes through the series, lurching from one disaster to the next, one job to the next, never able to hold a job for more than a day, and accidentally antagonizing people he's only trying to be friendly with, and thinking he has some kind of problem because of that. Well, which he does. He's been in the RAF, and not that he lasted very long there either. He went to see a psychiatrist for his, as I'm now going to put it, antagonism. Or antagonistic complex. I antagonize people. No, Mr. Spencer, you do not antagonize people. But I do. No, Mr. Spencer, you do not. Okay. Bless him. He manages to do that to nearly everyone he meets through the course of the series. With spoiler alert, the only person he manages not to antagonize in all that time is his flying instructor. Wow, yeah. And I guess he accidentally and unknowingly antagonizes people when he's just trying to be himself. He's not very good at fixing things, but he does have quite the good hand at actually making things. And he's antagonized by certain people, his neighbors. Well, one neighbor in particular. And the series also sees him becoming a father at the end of series 2. And the man behind the scenery in the Christmas play. I mean, come on, Frank. How many people do you antagonize on a weekly basis? Including people who are trying to help you. Case in point, his long-suffering wife, Betty. Who does get antagonized by him, funnily enough, but always sticks by him. So... And her mum doesn't like him one bit. And that is made plain to us from the very first scene of the series. In episode 1. So... So... If I've got your interest in watching this series, then I recommend you do, because you'll have a heap load of fun with it. I know I certainly did. I actually watched the tail end of the series with a friend of mine who actually has been a fan of it since he was a kid. Pyramid Head 45. I'm not going to mention real names here. But I wouldn't have seen the series had I not encouraged myself to jump in, and had I not, well, accepted the offer of my best friend to get it for me. One of the last times we were in HMV together. Shout out to Darren Stratton, who you may know on here under many different names, but the main one being Mr. Darrenster's Animations. So yes, Darren, if you're watching this, I thank you very much for that box set. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. If you've watched the show yourself, let me know what you think in the comments below, please. And until the next episode, and the next video in general, thanks for watching and have us a magical time. Okay, so let's continue now into day 20 of Comedy Month, but we're returning to the world of Blackadder. This time, we're getting our third helping. Series 3 of Blackadder, also known as Blackadder the Third, originally aired in 1987. So, with the returning actor Rowan Atkinson in the title role. This time though, It is set during the British Regency period. And for those who are unaware of what that was the late 18th to early 19th century. And there are 6 episodes in this series, as there were for the previous 2. And those 6 episodes are as follows: Dish and Dishonesty, Dish and Dishonesty. First aired on September 17th, 1987. Ink and Incompatibility. First aired on September 24th, 1987. Knob and Nobility. Yeah, see the 1st of October 87. Sense and Senility. Originally aired on the 8th of October 1987. Amy and Amiability, or Amy and Amiability, 15th of October 87. And then the series and the season finale, Dual and Duality, on the 22nd of October 1987. So those are the 6 episodes of the series and their air dates. And it is a brilliant third run. And if you want to check it out for yourself, good news, you can. If you have a subscription to BritBox, they'll have it on there. But if not, and you own the DVDs, then pop it in and give it another watch. Now, that is it for this installment of Comedy Month. Stay tuned for the next one. I shan't reveal what it is until tomorrow. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. Hello. What's going on here then? Yeah, what's all this? And welcome to day 21 of Comedy Month, where I'm sure by these police impressions, you know what it's gonna be. Carry On Constable, the 4th installment of the Carry On franchise. Now, I'm actually, instead of trying to guess the release year of this here, I'm actually gonna pull it up on a tab. I believe it was released in 1960 or somewhere around there. So yeah, 1960, there we go. Very easily looked up. And this time the Carry On team are police officers. apprehending criminals left and right, and the same wacky hijinks ensue. Oh boy, was this film ever a laugh riot when I first saw it? And if you like this type of wacky British comedy, then I recommend you give it a watch. Yeah, as I keep saying in these reviews of Carry On films, you can't give full, accurate descriptions of them without mentioning the wacky hijinks, which is basically what these films are about. So, with that in mind, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the themed months, specifically of Comedy Month. If you did, then let me know what you thought of the film if you've seen it in the comments below. And please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next video, thanks for watching and have us a magical time. 69, dudes! Get ready for a bodacious review. So, guys, what do you get when you take Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves before he was a big star, or before they were big stars, and George Carlin, who at the time was already a big star, and put them into a time travel comedy scenario? You get Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which is the subject of Day 22. Well, which is the subject of review for Day 22 of Comedy Month. And this day also happens to be your gracious host, that's me, yes, 35th birthday. So what a way to celebrate, hey? Okay. So what is this film about? Spoilers, if there's anyone out there who hasn't managed to see the film yet. But Bill and Ted, played by Winter and Reeves, are two slackers who won't graduate high school unless they get an A+ on their history report. To do this, they actually get help from George Carlin's character, Rufus, who comes back in time in a phone box, yes, a phone box, to help them. How does he do this? Well, he takes them back in time to the Napoleonic Wars. And when they see they've brought Napoleon back with them by accident to 1988, they get the idea to travel round history, kidnapping historic figures to help them with their report. Yeah, there you go. What kind of moral is that teaching us? Is you're struggling to pass your history report? It's okay to cheat as long as you get help from the historic figures you're actually doing reports on. Apparently that is A+ material, guys. Let's go and do that ourselves, okay? I'm being sarcastic, of course. It is one excellent comedy, and they are the perfect and most bodacious comedy trio to have ever been thought of for this film. And yes, fun fact, there are 2 sequels to this. Whether that's a fun fact or not, I don't know, but it's a fun fact for me. But you've heard my opinion of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. What's yours? Leave it in the comments below, if you've seen it, that is. And if this review has sparked your interest in seeing the films, pardon me, then I recommend you see it. That's it for this review. Stay tuned for the next one. I shan't reveal what it's going to be here. But if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And birthday wishes will also be much appreciated. Thanks for watching and have us a magical time. Comedy Month Day 23. And we're getting back to the world of Blackadder, except now we're jumping ahead in time to World War I. Here we go. Blackadder Goes Forth, the 4th and final series of Blackadder to feature regular episodes in a weekly format. Originally aired on BBC One on Thursday evenings between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, and in 1989. Starring Rowan Atkinson in the role of Blackadder, this time as a military man, and every episode is a reference to a military rank, except for the final one. So, the episodes you'll get in this series of Blackadder are Captain Cook, Corporal Punishment, Major Star, Private Plane, General Hospital, and Goodbye. And these episodes all originally broadcast between the 28th of September and 2nd of November 1989. And again, Rowan Atkinson delivers a great performance in the role of, I think he's Captain here, Captain Blackadder. In World War One, it's set in 1917. And as I said, this is the final regular series of Blackadder ever made. There were no more regular episodes after Goodbye, but there were 4 specials, which I'll also acknowledge here in this episode. And those were The Cavalier Years, which was directed by Richard Bowden and written by Richard Curtis and Ben Elton, originally aired on the 5th of February 1988. England is in civil war and Blackadder is harbouring the most wanted man in the country, King Charles I. Blackadder's Christmas Carol, directed by Richard Bowden, written by Richard Curtis and Ben Elton, originally aired on the 23rd of December 1988. And it's basically a parody of A Christmas Carol, but what they do with it is they take the story and flip it on its head. So Edmund Blackadder, played by who else? Rowan Atkinson. Oh, actually, he's Ebenezer Blackadder here, played by Rowan Atkinson, is the nicest man in the UK. And the ghosts visit him and he turns into an asshole. Yeah, so as opposed to starting out horrible and becoming nice at the end. Blackadder Back and Forth, written by Paul Weiland, or directed by Paul Weiland, directed by written by Richard Curtis and Ben Elton, and originally aired on the 31st of December 1999. As the new millennium dawns, Blackadder tries to con his friends out of £30,000 with a fake time machine, which, thanks to Baldrick, unexpectedly works up to a point. Yeah, it's crazy. And then finally we have Red Nose Day 2023, written by Richard Curtis, directed by Richard Curtis and Tony Robinson, and it aired on the 17th of March this year. Baldrick returns alone to read Balderella about himself and Edmund Blackadder, absent, for the 2023 BBC Red Nose Day. So, where I would normally cover just one thing to do with Blackadder here, I've covered Series 4 and the specials. So, yeah. There won't be another episode covering Blackadder for Comedy Month. But I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to... Wait, it's a good series and they're good specials, but actually... I've not watched the Cavalier Years, so I wouldn't know. But the other specials, all the Red-Nosed Day, but two of the specials I have seen, and the two that I've seen I loved. But I've seen the rest of it, meaning the main series, so I'll give you the information on the specials anyway. But if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next episode, thanks for watching, and have a magical time. Okay guys, we're heading back into the world of scary movie parodies for day 24 of Comedy Month, which is also the 50th episode of these reviews. Oh yeah, let's roll it! Scary Movie 3, the 2003 comedy spoof film. Oh yes, directed by David Zucker, and this time it's handled by the Weinstein Company. Oh, the pain of it all! The horror of Harvey Weinstein, he who must not be named. But the comedy in this actually diverts a bit away from horror films and goes into other types of films, as well as The Ring being the core parody here. We have parodies of 8 Mile. That's right, I said it, 8 Mile. And the President of the United States, played by Leslie Nielsen. And Alien films. And yes, there's a very funny joke between the humans and the aliens and how they greet and say goodbye. Apparently the aliens in the film, shock horror, and spoilers for those who haven't seen the film, choke people to say hello and kick them in the privates to say goodbye. Oh wow, what friendly aliens. Don't do that to a woman, aliens, you'd be douchebags. Okay. Oh dear. And also, there's 2 characters in here called CJ and Maholic, and we given our first paradoxal argument about the ring tape. Now, I take it you know how the tape in the ring works. Just a refresher for those who may have forgotten. You watch the tape. Straight after it ends, you get a phone call from a creepy voice at the end of the phone saying 7 days, meaning you're gonna die in 7 days. And then 7 days later, unless you've either destroyed the tape or, well, copied the tape actually and passed it on to someone else, the telly would turn on of its own accord, showing a picture of the well, from which then the girl would come out of the well, crawl out of your TV, look you in the eye, like a basilisk, and kill you. Okay. And the paradoxical argument is, right, you know Jamal from 90th Street? He watched the tape last week, and this morning he woke up dead. How can you wake up dead? Because you're alive when you go to sleep. Yeah, the paradox there being, if you go to sleep, and you die in your sleep, you don't wake up. Anyway. And, of course, now, there's also this badass scene of the Ringo. Now, no, I'm not going to tell you anymore, because I've almost given you the entire plot. Just go and watch it if you haven't, although I can't recommend it too highly, because it's not as good as the first two. So, but if out of curiosity you want to see what the film's like, then go ahead. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until the next video, thanks for watching, and have some magical time. So we're staying with the spoof movies, but only this time, we're taking on a different genre of film. Superheroes. Let's get on with it, shall we? Superhero Movie is a 2008 comedy spoof movie which takes a jab at the superhero genre. So in here we see parodies of Spider-Man and Superman and any superhero, but its main story is about a kid that, like Spider-Man, gets bitten by a radioactive creature, but only apparently he gains the ability to sexually arouse animals. Yeah, that's actually a very on-the-nose spoof of how silly superhero stories are, and how some superheroes, if not nearly all of them, have silly origins. And most specifically, Spider-Man. Now, we're not here to give you the origins of characters, so let's just get on with the film, shall we? Now, like other spoof films I've reviewed in the past, in the recent past, it's hard to describe these by story, so just describing them by the types of films they parody, which in this case is superhero films, obviously. This is another Friedberg and Seltzer film. So, no, it's not as good as such films as Scary Movie by the Wayans brothers. And I'm afraid that if you're holding out for my opinions on the Airplane films, you're going to be holding out for a long time because I've not seen them yet. So I can't give my opinions of them. Okay. Pardon me. So yeah, you will, I'm afraid, have to wait. So yeah, as I said, my actual opinion of this film is not very good. It's not as good as other spoof films than what you expect from Friedberg and Seltzer. They are the antichrist of comedy. Hey, those aren't my words, but are rather the general consensus of the public. Yeah, there you go. So, I can't recommend this one too highly, but if you want to watch it out of curiosity, then you can do so. But otherwise, I'd recommend staying away from it. If you enjoyed this video though, please like, comment, share and subscribe. If you've seen this film, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. And until the next one, thanks for watching and have some magical time. Let me ask you guys a thought-provoking question. What do remote controls control? Your TV perhaps? Or a DVD player? Or a hi-fi system? How about the universe? Yeah, I think I've got you. Yeah, I think I've got you interested in this one. Let's find our way to that universal remote and click on to this next review. Click, the 2006 comedy starring Adam Sandler as a man who comes across a universal remote control, not this one, okay, that he then discovers controls the universe. So he starts using it for his own gain. And throughout the, I guess you could say, time travel because of the remote, we see into his future, his family's future. 2017 is the first year he stops in. And he finds his son an overweight dude. And throughout all the escapades we see in the film, by way of this universal remote control, I wouldn't normally say a lot of antics ensue because this is supposed to be a comedy film. And It is. It's the only Adam Sandler film I've actually ever seen, and the only one I'll ever bother to see. Actually, scratch that. I've seen another one, but it wasn't that good either. Nor was this one. So, I can't recommend this film to be watched, because I can't recommend anything by Adam Sandler like that. But if you want to watch it out of curiosity, that's up to you. But if you like time travel, there are better time travel films out there, some of which are comedies. So, that's it for this episode of Themed Reviews. This was day 26, by the way. I should have said that at the beginning. Stay tuned for the next review. I shan't reveal what it's going to be on until tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching and have a magical time. Alright, Jay, you're talking total bollocks, mate. Hi guys, and welcome to day 27 of Comedy Watch, where we're talking about the In-Betweeners, the 2008 to 2010 sitcom they aired on Channel 4. What's it about? Well, it's about a group of four young men, Will Mackenzie, Simon Cooper, Jay Cartwright, and Neil Sutherland, who are trying to navigate their way through sixth form college. And they get into many different situations along the way. And we get to see their awkward encounters with girls. And especially with the personality of one, Jay Cartwright in particular, who's a borderline sex pest and keeps coming up with these imaginary sexual experiences. And he also keeps coming up with imaginary friends that he claims can help his friends. And as if that's not enough to have his friends contradicting his total bollocks, his dad, Terry Cartwright, also contradicts everything he says. Like, example, they're in the family caravan, the Cartwright family caravan, and Jay's bragging about how he went to Norfolk and pulled a couple of fit birds. And not only that, had sex with those fit birds. To which his dad then comes into the caravan and contradicts it. Okay, now, other characters we meet throughout the series are Will's mom, Polly, who's something of a nymphomaniac, because every time she is within eyesight of another bloke, they ogle over her. I mean, wow. And then, of course, there's Simon's love interest, Carly D'Amato, who obviously at first, yeah, she doesn't feel the same way about Simon as he does about her. They're just best friends. And then, of course, there's the head of the sixth form, Phil Davies. Not Phil Davies, James, you twats! Phil Gilbert, who is something of a dick to everyone in his form. I think I actually got confused between the actor who plays the character and the character himself there for a second. Oh. And obviously, Charlotte Hinchcliffe, who is a love interest of Will's. And they actually try getting together in one episode, but it all ends tragically. Well, badly. Well, that's tragic. What are you guys, 11? I mean, just... It's just... Now, the actors who actually play our main characters, you might recognise some of them from other projects they actually worked on after this. Joe Thomas, who you might remember now from Fresh Meat. He plays Simon. Simon Bird, who plays Will, was also in Friday Night Dinner. Blake Harrison, who plays Neil, he moved on mainly to do voice work for animated shows. And James Buckley is active in the online community on Twitch, where he's a gamer. He played Jay, by the way. And now, who plays Carly D'Amato? You might be wondering. Have you ever heard of the actor Anthony Head? It's his daughter. Yeah, his daughter Emily Head plays Carly D'Amato. And Greg Davies. Yes. Okay, Greg Davies plays Mr. Gilbert. Phil Davies. Oh dear. Okay, before I make any more mistakes, I think if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have us a magical time. Pop quiz, guys. What do you get when you take Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and put them into a comedy film that parodies zombie survival flicks? Well, no. You don't get Dawn of the Dead, but you do get That's right, guys. You get Shaun of the fucking Dead. Well, just Shaun of the Dead. It stars Simon Pegg as Shaun and Nick Frost as his best friend, Ed, who are two out of their luck losers, if you will, who share a flat and just find themselves getting caught up in a zombie outbreak and trying to survive. Parodying the likes of such films as Shaun of the Dead. No, James, you fucking twat. I mean, Dawn of the Dead. um, can't parody itself. Like, and any other zombie survival flick that you can think of, mainly the George Romero ones, hence the title. Now, Shaun has recently just been kicked to the curb by his significant other, Liz, and so her CDs end up getting used as weapons against the zombies. Oh, and by the way, guys, this film tells you don't say the Z word because it's ridiculous. What are they then? Just dead corpses that have been reanimated and are now gone up and walking around? Zombies. They're not vampires. And yes, this film is the first film in a trilogy of films that are collectively known as the Three Flavors Cornetto Trilogy. Why is that? Well, it's because there's product placement for Cornetto ice creams in this and the other two films. Anyway, back to this one, because this is not a review for any of those ones. They go to hide out in the Winchester pub after trying to rescue Shaun's mum, Barbara. Barbara. We're coming to get you, Barbara. And stepdad, Philip. And everyone else. Now, of course, I don't think I should tell you any more in case I spoil the ending for those who haven't seen the film yet. I should have called a spoiler warning. I'm a twat. Anyway, guys, if you're fans of the comedy of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, then this film's the one for you. It's a great film. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching and have a Z magical time. Get it? Okie dokie. So we're now into an old comedy series about about a bumbling detective. But what colour's the panther here? The Pink Panther is a comedy film from 1963, directed by Edward Blake and starring Peter Sellers as Detective Jacques Clouseau, who is a bumbling police detective of the French police force, as he is assigned to the case of the Pink Panther diamond, where he is trying to catch the person who is suspected of thieving the diamond, only to then be accused of it himself and have to clear his name. Wow, that is absolutely correct what I've just told you there. And now, guys, I'm going to tell you that I thought this film was funny, and the bumbling detective role really suits Peter Sellers. You get to see him causing or making many mistakes and causing something of a catastrophe, while trying to do his job. So, that's my opinion of Pink Panther. Let me know yours in the comments below if you've seen the film. Now, the next episode will be the finale of Comedy Month, but I have to go and correct a mistake that I made with one of the Carry On films. Now, you might remember me earlier this month reviewing Carry On Doctor, and mistakenly saying it was the second film in the franchise. I got it confused with Carry On Nurse, so I'll have to go and review that one for the end of the month. Whoops. So until then... Yeah, because I actually haven't seen Carry On Doctor yet, but until then... thanks for watching, and have yourselves a magical time. So we close off with a review going back to the actual second of the Carry On films. And yes, they are in the NHS, and this time they are nurses. Here we go. Carry On Nurse is film number 2 of the Carry On franchise, and it has our returning actors from Carry On Sergeant, minus William Hartnell, of course, in a hospital setting, as most of them play the roles of patients, while the females play the role of nurses. And we see all the Carry-On antics ensue throughout a hospital. Now, yes, I know I said Carry On Doctor was the second film. That's actually the 16th. My bad, sorry. This is the second film of the Carry On series, and I've had to come back to it after realizing just last night that I had mistaken. Yes, I had mistaken it, or I had mistaken this film for that one. Mistakes happen, guys, and that can actually be corrected in the description of that one. So there's no cause for panic. So what do I think of Carry On Nurse? Well, I'm going to carry on nurse it, alright. It is a brilliant second film in a brilliant comedy franchise so far. And I definitely can't wait to see the rest of them. Now, guys, this is the final episode of Comedy Month. Throughout the month of May, I'll be doing reviews of most of the Marvel superhero films. The only ones I won't be doing reviews of on this show are the latest two, but the rest of them will have reviews. So I beg your forgiveness for my mistake with that episode there, and this is me fixing that mistake. So if you enjoyed this episode and this series of reviews, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you for Marvel month throughout the month of May. We'll call it Mayvel. Okay. Thanks for watching. Until then, and have a magical time.